I've been standing under the stars thinking about orbits. How sometimes the pull of gravity between bodies is symbiotic, and other times disastrous. You can destroy an entire solar system by placing one aberrant mass into the balance, skewing the gravity of a closed system. I'm beginning to worry Lodi might be such an aberration. I didn't have a solid theory until we realized the Vex were involved here. Maya's collective seems to be looking for the same things Lodi is. If their motives are aligned... If their orbits intersect, make sure we know how. This stays between us. You know I've carried my suspicions around our arrival here, around Lodi.
I don't know, Ikora. I can see how his tendency to be vague is suspicious, but he seems to genuinely want to help.
Recently, Ophiuchus uncovered that he's been sending encoded transmissions using Vex arrays, but we don't know to whom.
Oh.
He's exchanging information and pretending to be a lone agent. At the very least, he's sending out information and lying about it. I found the locations of the arrays. I'm forwarding them to you. Scrape their data and send it back.
Understood. Guardian, you've got an incoming call.
Lodi here. Hope it's not a bad time, Guardian. Miss Ray isn't answering my calls. I don't know how I managed it, but I may have offended her. She asked me plenty of questions about the Vex right before, too. I guess she didn't like my answers. There's something new about the Vex I thought you and she should know. The Vex have been taking passive readings off the Singularity as long as I've been watching them. Now they're pinging it hard. Trying for a reaction. I keep getting this awful buzz interfering with my comm line. That's all I know. And please, when you get the chance, give Miss Ray my warmest regards. I hate to lose her esteem.
I can't figure you out, Lodi. Every logical part of me says your story isn't believable, that all signs point to you being a Vex simulation. And at the same time, something in my gut says I can trust you.
You can feel about me however you like. But I've got your back, Miss Ray. Always have.
Seeing a spike of exile activity. Is this doctor safe on her own?
It's true the Ionians are a peaceful bunch, but field work requires metal. I'm sure her gauntlet did much more than look sharp. Speaking of, I'm at her research outpost. She's not here, which wouldn't normally be worrisome, but the place is completely ransacked. No sign of her assistant either. He's usually... Oh, damn it.
Lodi?
Take care of those exiles. Let me call you back. Guardian, it's Miss Ray. I'm not really sure how to describe what I'm looking at. A person. I think it's a mess. There's... Someone was killed. I'm not sure who. There isn't enough left to tell. I need to look around.
Do you need backup?
No. Patrol the area. Cold-blooded murder isn't usually the House of Exile's MO, but I have a hard time believing the Vex would be this brutal.
Cora, Lodi, we've got another group of exiles. Though nothing seems out of the ordinary apart from, well, the normal exile abnormality.
I've got some semblance of a trail leading out of here. Take care of those guys. I'll touch base when I've got a lead. Guardian, I've located Dr. Carnahan. She's safe, but she's shaken. Understandably.
If she's safe, and what you saw at the outpost.
Yeah. Her assistant, Reese. Budding linguist. He didn't deserve this.
Dr. Carnahan asked us to find a piece of technology that the House of Exiles stole when her assistant was murdered.
Guardian, there's something here you need to get. Closer to the singularity. I'm sending you some coordinates. Do these make any sense to you?
I take it these are from the Nine.
I have to assume so. Unless the guys at Langley programmed me a trigger phrase before I left. Guardian, we're looking for a member of the House of Exile. My, hunch led me to some Elixni tracks. My guess is the technology that was taken is on its way to the Archon as we speak. That's our thief. We'll need to move fast.
Can you give us any more information on what we're looking for?
Carnahan called the technology Mattermorph. Does exactly what it says in the package. It can take any matter and break down its molecules in an alarmingly short amount of time.
We've seen how easily Mattermorph can kill. It's too unstable for someone like the Archon to wield. Carrying delicate cargo. I'm not sure how resilient this technology will be to a stray Nova bomb.
If this tech works as well as it sounds like it does, it'll be a big problem in the wrong hands.
The thief just dropped a bunch of Ionian artifacts. Lodi said the lab had been ransacked. They must have taken more than just Mattermorph. But why drop the stolen goods?
Hospitality, Deathlash. Those who trust the giver receive gifts.
Archon. And Cora, aren't these being controlled?
And he's claiming hospitality. That you
trying to make all of our problems worse? Levas. Return the stolen technology, and no one else needs to get hurt.
Exiles, you hear the Deathless make false promises. Nothing appeases their greed as they vie for the Giver's blessing. Extinction fated, Deathless. You have the sympathies of the House of Exile.
These dropped artifacts aren't gifts. The Archon's trying to lighten the load to make a quicker escape.
He seems as fortunate as he is reckless. Lifting Mattermorph was just a deadly coincidence.
Robbed a house, found a nuke. All it takes is one wrong judgment call and the Exiles could level Kepler.
Isn't stable. How can we help your people?
There is no need. The Vask is prophecy best. Lo, my exiles, I see without eyes. The Giver's feast, the rim of soul bent. Exiles triumph. The deathless dead, and dead again.
Do you think 3 is going to send you home? The grand design you speak of means Kepler falls into the singularity, and the rest of Sol with it.
Feed the Giver. Let the wormhole swallow all, and tear through the eternal unknown! Felsic's will is at her Archon's command.
She drop all that junk at your command too?
Every failure is proof of the greater victory. The grand design is grand indeed.
This guy's not playing with a full deck. There is no plan.
Doesn't have to be this way. On Earth, Elixir and humans live in peace. They have homes, plentiful food sources, fellowship.
Earth Elixir practice sacrilege of the highest order. They have no place in grand design.
Ikora, Lodi, we've got Mattermore. Interesting. It's reacting to that pylon. Guardian, let's investigate.
A member of your house is dead by your misjudgment. Open up the way to the singularity. No one else has to die.
What is sapient life, if not bodies? Fel 6 was necessary. Defeat is victory in the eyes beyond time.
He shut off his channel. A leader so obsessed with the hold he has on the world, he's willing to sacrifice his entire house for a paltry slice of power.
There's no grand design. Nobody's driving the car. This guy's just riding shotgun trying to convince us he's behind the wheel. I spoke with Dean Rebecca about Kepler's degradation status.
You can probably feel it too. The pull of gravity stolen, directed.
I think I follow. Who's doing the stealing?
The mycelial priest. Stop. The Archon.
You're saying the Archon's getting the power of the Nine somehow? And that's why he's so dangerous?
Yes. His grand design smells of unknown space. This giver did not...
purpose here is twofold. Lodi informed me the Ionians' power situation is dire. They've been relying on outdated generators since the House of Exile locked down the path to the Singularity. With our efforts to stabilize the altar, those energy stores are growing more inefficient by the minute. We need to fix the reactor and alleviate the strain on their generators as soon as possible.
Swallow your tremor. We are being observed by the Nine. I will try to find them.
Stay safe, Orin. And stay focused, Guardian. There's a strangelet here that was taken by the Exiles. Securing it will get the Guardian through to 3.
Ikora, we've reached the main reactor.
Excellent. You'll need to tap into the reactor's kernel interface. With any luck, this will be a simple reboot sequence.
Proceed with caution. The temperature is limbo.
Okay, I'm still getting unstable power readings. It's not enough to totally reboot the system, but we've opened a door leading to another power source. Follow that cable, Guardian.
It's them. Damn it, it's still them. It's always them. It's the Nine. We were supposed to turn on the lights. Guardian, these words are not my own.
Progress. Trending and fleeting. Met with primeval victory. Set in motion to vivify. Did you play the game? Keep eyes on the field. Bank every note. Instructions given and heeded. The Drifters' Hall arriving. We hope you prepared. Help. Did you pay attention, Guardian?
We've got exiles incoming.
Orin, you all right? I can see why you left.
I wanted my freedom back. As emissary, I knew I was signing it away, but what I got in return wasn't worth it in the end. Just when I saw through to the past, learned my own names, they scraped me out hollow. I learned the hard way liberty was more valuable than power. They can keep the kid with the nicer bosons. My freedom is worth the price. You hear that? Don't even try.
We're activating another power source.
It's not enough to bring the reactor fully online. There has to be another around here somewhere. Orin, as far as I'm concerned, the Nine ignored every single one of our existential threats in recent memory. Gaul, the Hive Pantheon, the Witness. None of them warranted extra-dimensional intervention?
Oh, they intervened. You'll just never know. Everything you listed happened because the Nine allowed it.
I'll just never know. If you make bold claims without proof, you'll start speaking like the Archon.
I can see their temporal fingerprints on the Guardian. On Lodi, on Drifter, on me. And on you, Ikora. The feeling you get around the trains. This isn't a coincidence. It's a show of force.
I've been around long enough to know when I've been manipulated.
Guardian, are you paying attention?
Guardian. Here's the source of all the trouble.
wronged you, Orin. That much is clear. But their interference in the larger affairs of Sol seems minimal.
How about on your cohort? The Hall? That hideous thing dragging behind the Drifter's ship. The Nine gave it to him years ago. Didn't say what for. He tell you it's reacting to Kepler?
Yes. He was almost uncharacteristically forthcoming with that information. He's got the situation under control.
You don't understand.
I'm trying to. Power source is offline. We'll need to reactivate it before the exiles cause more trouble.
That's working now. Enemies incoming.
To be clear, I don't doubt the Nine exist, nor am I trying to minimize your struggle for freedom, Orin. You said we came to Kepler at the Nine's behest. But so far, all I've seen is a planet on the brink of annihilation unless we do something to stop this black hole. Where is the intervention?
It already happened. The Nine collected their tax. On the Drifter's Hall. On Lodi's gift. On the Guardian's calibration. On you, Ikora. We just haven't seen it yet. I'm sorry. Transform and static the final power source.
the last power source available on the grid. I'm hoping it'll be enough to cycle the power and get the reactor up and running again. Orin's perspective is eerie. The Nine are either completely detached or so involved they overtake your life. I think I'm feeling that dread Ikora was talking about. Let's get out of here. Fast. What about the Guardian, Orin? They've changed the fate of the universe. They chose to be here.
Each choice, right, trial, wasn't absent an organizer. Do you know you comply with instructions you don't know exist? From the moment you arrived on Kepler, you've marked coincidence after coincidence. Happenstance, serendipity. The brush of a spider web against your cheek may as well be chiseled slabs to the Nine.
Watch out. A large contingent of Elixni Shanks is approaching. They seem drawn to the central reactor now that it's producing an energy signal.
Rot! Damn it! Colossal Shank!
strangelet. Collect it now.
The likelihood of the outer orbits being knocked out of position has decreased. They appreciate that... Oh, am I finally allowed to remember something?
They're speaking to you?
They are reminding me... No, I am reminding me. The message.
We've talked about this message before. Is it for us?
It is. It's in the slab I chiseled myself as the Nine fought to tear me apart. But the relief is weathered, blurred and buffed away by their sands.
Focus. If there's something you need us to know, I trust you can find it again.
Chisel in hand, I will remember, but not yet. Not until the time is right.
Guardian, get that strangelet capsule back to the Ionians. Now that the power's back on, we're that much closer to reaching the singularity. Lodi, Drifter, we have another strangelet. The Guardian's dropping it off at the altar. Drifter, any updates on the haul?
It's starting to drift toward... almost like a gravitational pull. I'm burning thrusters just to keep it in place. I don't know what'll happen when I let this bird loose, but I'm seeing this through, even if my instincts are telling me to scram.
I'd be worried if your instincts weren't telling you to run from a black hole. Glad to have you here with us, Mr. Drifter.
We have one more strangelet to find before our work here is done.
It's almost time to meet 3.
They want to talk to you. To help you understand, both of you. Oh no, don't touch it. Sorry. I don't know what happens if you touch it.
You hold it. Guardian, get close.
Two speaks on behalf of 3, that you might grasp your necessary presence at this point in space, in time. Commander, your first step, scheduled at our hand. An intervention necessary to ensure attendance.
The Nine killed me to get me here?
From simple perspectives, the technicality. Lightbearer, thank you for your attendance with minimal interference. To you we say, vengeance required. The culprit lies within. The drifter must prepare his gift. Emissary, reveal your truth. Wake the dead. They will speak. You will listen.
Why would we listen? The Nine manipulated our lives. How far back?
Two showed me how you died. But I already knew the rest. You deserve to know the truth. I'm sorry, Miss Ray.
stuck right here today, dreaming of the past. Now when I call you up, it's like your phone don't ring, baby. And when I see you in a crowd and call your name out loud, it's like you don't hear a thing. Like a king who lost his crown. If you need me, I'll be around, dreaming of the past. But right now, darling, when it feels like my world is falling, I hope and I pray that soon there'll come a as I hang my head in shame, dreaming of the past.
What was your name?
Lewis. Agent Lewis Sierra.
Thank you, Lewis.
How long did you know?
From the second I saw you.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because you're not her! I figured the Nine put you here to torture me. The one face I recognized. And she had no idea who I was. If I told you, it would be because I wanted that. Not because it would help you.
Well, you're right. It doesn't. You know that much about me, Lodi. Did the Nine kill me just to ensure I would end up here?
Yes. Maybe your body had to be in the right place for your ghost to find you.
I woke up by a tar in the desert with a flower in my hand. Ophiuchus chose me as his guardian. And every choice I made led me here.
Catastrophic intervention. That flower was an aster. She...
I don't want to know. Don't tell me her name. Don't tell me anything about her. She's dead.
Guardian, you've got an incoming call.
Guardians forget their past life for a reason. Who we were is immaterial to our potential as paracausal beings. I am Ikora Ray, Warlock Vanguard. I am an accomplished scholar, pioneer Thanatonot. I've won hundreds of Crucible matches, and I have thwarted humanity's most dire threats time and time again. The woman I saw, the woman Lodi knew, she wasn't me. I don't even know her name. Yet, I mourn her. She had a life, a vocation, a family she loved. The Nine took that from her. And for what? So they could throw the very same train that killed her at me centuries later? Sprinkle a clever little trail across Seoul for us to follow? For what? I have no desire to see more of that woman's life. But I need answers. She deserves them.
Orin? That you?
Yes. There. And here. I was expecting Ikora's tone.
Right, I'm patching her in. Look, we left off on the wrong foot. And I know right before you run off with the Guardian to stomp Vex into dust ain't the best time. But I'm sick of counting seconds not taken for words that should have been said. Someday soon I'd like to clear the air. Just watch your back out there. House's Archon's still at large. There's trouble brewing, and I think you're in the middle of it.
Where we need to be. I think the Vex seek the Nine, through a trace of their influence. Their operation is coiled wires, but with the Guardian, we can cut through. When they pushed out the house, they claimed a capsule of quantum threads. If we want to know why we were brought here, we need it.
You're a tad late for this skirmish. Or early. Either way, you must have seen the Vex going about their deterministic routines by now. They're dug in, and trying to assimilate everything around them. They mean to turn a sphere to a circle here, so to speak. We have an advantage, in that the Vex who are exposed to dark matter find themselves caught in a thick, yellow confusion. The presence of the Nine here resists Vex probing with dense air, but it's thinning. We need to address this. I haven't been able to get close enough for a detailed assessment, but you can.
Fire team, I'll be overseeing this operation. I want to stay focused and on task.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Nothing has changed. No matter who I was, I'm still Ikora Rey. Orin, status.
The Vex are watching this place. Rifles strung up in the cliffs. We need to break pottery. Tear it down.
Orin's right. Perimeter scans show Vex signatures, and they've converted the old HCO networks into a sort of security lattice.
She's also right about tearing it down. Keep your focus on the present and find a way through. Without active surveillance, you'll be able to move through the surrounding canyons without tripping Vex security every 10 paces. Taking the Vex's security lattice offline revealed something, Guardian. There's a massive dampening field that extends to the area we know 3 is behind. It's a barrier to entry, but from these readings, that isn't its purpose. Rather, it's stopping anything from getting out.
I'm seeing that too. It's the same type of quarantine protocol the Vex use to close off damaged portions of their network.
They must want to prevent the singularity expanding too. But we'll need to remove it to get to 3.
I remember something else now. A hooked request. There's a message I'm to remember here. Oh, it feels like a decompression, like plugged ears. What I mean is the 9 are holding something back from me. I think I know. I remember. Or will. I want to help.
The dampening field signal is coming from this direction, but it looks like there's a branching point.
I see it. They're disseminating the dampening signal to hundreds of frames. This is a code fix. They've recognized their vulnerability to the 9's energy and are adjusting.
It's still only noise. Tear down the signal and they'll die in the quiet.
I think we can get through here now. The signal's getting stronger, and it looks like I was wrong before. The dampening broadcast isn't emitting from 1 point, it's 3. Wait, there's something else. There's an old colonial research terminal still running from when the Ionians landed here. I didn't notice it until we were close, but it looks like the Vex are trying to access it.
Interesting. Let's kill two birds with one stone. Bring down the dampening broadcast, and in the chaos, we'll crush their incursion into the old colony systems.
Your plan is cracked knuckles. I like it. I'm glad we're taking the direct route. Without you, Guardian, my steps would be mouse squeaks in the floorboard.
I've always been more gauntlets and thunder.
We don't have time to be anything but gate crashers. It's the Guardian's forte anyway. If you're looking for quiet, Orin, come back to the city with us when this is over. Rebuild your life in your own hands.
The city sounds like bitter medicine. We'll see. Is buzzing.
That is not a tower. The broadcasts are coming from those giant minotaurs. Stay low, Guardian. Another concentration of dark matter. Might help keep us out of harm's way. Detecting shield projectors nearby, but it's protected by a security lens. One step at a time, Guardian. This should help us get to the security lens.
Check their shields. The interference is dying down.
Let the pylon splinter, Guardian! Charge! The Vex mind curdles, and the dampening field weakens.
Orin, contact the 9th. Punch through that Vex interference.
Guardian. A timely message. A globe spins below you. The planets above. An event into the encoded horizon. see it. You. The message as a weapon. The weapon is the message. Fate forged. 9 hammer strikes ring. Scattered sparks. Cupped in hands. A weapon. Buried in the coals of the forge. I see a molten purity. Waiting to read the hammer strikes and direct the shock. No volition in given roles. Smoke. It's gone. Damn. Damn! I could almost see it!
You did great, Orin. Guardian. Seems like the 9 have their eyes on you, too.
Establishing uplink. Wait. These are detailed records of the collapse.
They catalogue the 9's presence as much as the collapse. The Vex study seeds planted in the past to understand how the 9 wove plots around the paracausal.
This data is a playbook for emulating the 9. Orin, did they know we would stop the Vex here?
Of course. They know that we'd need to move the Vex aside to reach the singularity. 3. Agency is a quantum indeterminate. Known hope. I remember they spoke like that.
I'm glad your head's clearing up. I quantum indeterminate that soon you'll be able to make more sense of this than I can.
Only the quarantine is between us and our answers. I can hear victory screaming like fire.
Lodi. The Guardian found an archive of analytical data the Ionians had recorded during the collapse. I think you deserve to see it.
Really? Miss Ray, that's incredible. Anything, and I mean anything that fills in the gaps between then and now would be mighty appreciated.
I think we're dealing with the inner orbits. Dangling an answer from a string is as clear as they get. Sun through Mars. The 9 are tethered by sentience and Sol's celestial bodies. They have a lot of time to bicker. The inner want to talk, the outer less so. It's an impasse.
So we're just swept up in the tides of a grand cosmic plan?
No. Placed. With intention. I, to mentor the new emissary. Drift has been used for years. The Guardian, something yet to be. And you, Ikora, arranged to hear the message you were promised.
I don't plan on being a sacrificial lamb for the 9. Our destiny isn't up to some unknowable architect. It's ours.
Scans are picking up a lot of moving radiolarity beneath the surface. Are they trying to assimilate Kepler?
We can't allow a Vex conversion to happen. Our own investigation aside, the Ionians call this place home.
We won't save them from the singularity just to lose them to the Vex. Crush the eye of the needle and the thread will choke.
The Vex here aren't a splinter faction. The Conductor is leading them.
Oh, Sundaresh. Her motives smack of unfinished business and desperation.
If she's here in person, it can't be good. Last we saw her, we learned how cruel she could be, even to her loved ones.
You mean Shioma? I remember the two of them were lost in the Vex network. How is this what became of them?
Shioma was horrified by what Maya became, and Maya couldn't handle that. We know how she works. That gives us an edge. She's dangerous. Guardian, that machine looks like another time-lost invitation. Similar to the one that empowered you before.
If the Nine want to give you power, who are we to refuse?
Now that's something. I can see you now. When you're all spherical like that, it's almost like a star in the sky. We're connected through a chain of dark matter. It's everything.
If it's a chain linking to your enemies, use it to pull them apart.
A little violent, but the situation calls for it.
Vex mind was controlling the flow of radiolaria. Without it, their assimilation of Kepler will stall.
I know Maya Sundaresh and her schism. This shield was an anti-paracausal shell. It is a spark of the Nine, derived from their power. I recognize its shallow anxiety. Kepler harbors their influence.
You aren't suggesting they're helping each other? The Conductor and the Nine?
No. This place has always been touched by the Nine. The Vex exploit it somehow. I can put this together, Ikora. I promise.
I thought most Vex malfunctioned when they were exposed to dark matter. But that new shielding incorporated it.
Most go haywire. They harness the energy of the Nine, but it's assimilation. Not like how the Guardian borrows it, or an emissary embodies it. The relationship between the Light and the Nine may speak to why Maya is here. Vex interact with the fourth dimension, but can't exist in it. The Nine can't create or use paracausality, but they are the rules that enable and regulate it. The Vex are intrigued by this.
As am I. Orin, trace the power the Vex are using back to its source. And then, Guardian, you destroy it. The Nine don't dabble in coincidence, and everything here is lining up too well. If the Vex are stealing power, the Nine are at least allowing it.
I'd rather not think of the implications of that.
You've lived too long to carbonate in guesses. This time was planned, but not for the Vex. I remember that much.
You've got me, 3. I'm paying attention now. I hate these even more. Focus, Ray. Here and now. You're entering the Vex exclusion zone, Guardian. Find how they're co-opting the Nine's power and put a stop to it.
Deep scans are picking up dark matter and deep metal drilling. This place looks like a quarry geared towards mining out the anomaly's power.
So they're using 3 on the other side to strengthen their shields? We can't remove all the dark matter, but we can neutralize the threat long enough to push deeper into the canyons. I want this refinery in flames, Guardian. How does dark matter relate to the Nine? My understanding is it's non-reflective and has odd qualities, but is still natural.
The Nine are, in simple terms, made of dark matter. It tangles with enough mass, like they do.
So the Vex are tapping dark matter from the anomaly, and that matter is tangled with the Nine's power? That must be what the Vex are keeping contained. Some live wire that lets them tap into whatever the Nine were doing, and reprogram it.
Carrying a lot of energy, probably enough to shatter that conflux pylon. That should lower the barrier and let us out.
You are here. This is where they refine their power.
Wait, I'm picking up Elixni signatures. The House of Exile just ignited a glimmer drill.
One enemy force stealing the Nine's power is enough. Shut down their operation, then we deal with the Vex.
The last of the exiles. Now for the Vex. Guardian, we're looking for a series of conversion engines tied to conflux pylons.
Like I said, Guardian. Leave it in flames.
That's the last converter. Refiner. Whatever. The Vex can't convert any more dark matter. Wait. Vex mine incoming!
The Overseer, who holds hourglass sands.
I bet they break just the same.
The Titan in me is blushing.
Shielding! Our weapons won't work!
You'll need the Nine's power to punch through.
I've seen a Minotaur phase through time to dodge an attack.
Against something paracausal, that phasing is a coin flip. The fourth dimension doesn't have that hindrance.
Knowing the Nine can subvert our agency is bad enough. But you're saying they can predict futures the Vex can't?
The Vex find a future that suits them. The Nine engineer one through. intermediaries and pressure.
Surely they follow some rules.
Ikora, I know what it feels like to have your autonomy brushed aside. That woman is dead, and Lodi worked hard to protect her memory. But in the eyes of the Nine, you exist simultaneously. A constant.
Stop, Orin. These borders matter. I know who I am. Maya's Vex co-opting Nine energy is a bad sign. Even if you don't think they're working together.
I remember her, but her transformation is a blind spot. What happened that turned her into the Conductor?
A fragment of paracausal power touched down on Nessus, and one of her simulations rose out of the VexNet and claimed it. Originally, she was looking for her wife, Chioma, but the Vex she co-opted began to change, to individualize.
She will not find her wife here, but she will find a being who knows.
Guardian, I've got confirmed intel. The Vex mine maintaining the quarantine has the last strangelet we need to reach 3.
My final tethers to the Nine are snapping. I feel like a live wire fraying. The charge is still there, sparking at the ends.
You won't miss that power? The station? It's a lot to walk from.
The Nine's power, the light, it all came from outside myself. I'm looking forward to finding what's left when that all fades away.
I'm glad to hear you say that and that you're back with us. All the power in the world isn't worth having none over yourself.
That's strange. Some of the radiolaria in the Vex down here is reading as being from, well, not our timeline. They're trying to wall off our path. We'll have to push through some familiar territory to reach the mine maintaining the dampening field.
If the Guardian dismantles it, we'll have enough Strangelet capsules to safely reach the Singularity.
And 3's on the other side with our message. One step closer to an answer. One last leap of faith. If Maya can already manipulate time, why all this friction?
Unlike the Nine, they're bound by their dimension. Chronal flow applies to all. Time moves forward, never backward. I want answers too, Ikora. We're simultaneous.
Looks like we're about to hit resistance. Get ready.
Resistance? You have reached an end, little ghost. Seeking to avert a catastrophe after the fact. Yourself dog from battle before it ever cuts deep enough to draw blood. But you will try.
It's an ambush, Guardian. Take cover. They're trying to lock us in. Clear a path and let's look for a way to disable those barriers.
message was for me, Guardian, not you.
The Nine keep stringing us along. Do they always get the future they determine?
Time is chord notation, the known possible scale of everything. But if the tone is set, why scheme against fate? Still, the Nine try, don't they?
Chords have variance to a degree. Tiny alterations in a range.
You're catching on. The Titan in me misses helping people. The city might do me some good.
I'm glad to hear you consider it. You could help us retake Seoul. Start small. Maybe Chicago. Heavy Vex presence ahead. They're trading fire with an Exile raiding party.
But thankfully, no giant minotaurs this time.
The Archon must be using us as a distraction to breach the Vex quarantine.
Too bad they crossed paths with you, Guardian.
Guardian, destroying that brig deactivated a nearby Exile signal. I think they have sealed off one of these buildings.
Waiting. A bridge across space.
No. There's remnants of Elixir technological signatures in the assimilated architecture here. The house must have been right on top of the anomaly before the Vex pushed them out.
The Archon's been trying to get back in ever since. It makes me think they'll make a push once we bring down the dampening field.
We'll need to be ready, but Right now, we kill the noise. Kill the noise and hear our answers. A hook? I haven't felt this since I was emissary. One of the 9 want to speak.
Twitter. Is that you, Buttercup? Release me from those filthy, fleshy hands.
No. My hand resigned a broken contract.
Orin, what's happening?
An unthinkable glimpse. An order. Drawing pinpoint aversion.
No. Too cryptic, Quitter. You want to know how we saved you? Your big ball never tell you that. You are flimsy. For me to stay and burn a while, I'll need the one with the fetching fermions.
Ugh! Can't smoke, stop! Speak to me, not through me. It's my will. Mine.
Quitting didn't take fully?
It did. It's me, I'm me. Those tethers I mentioned still stick to my skin.
If Maya really thought she was inevitable, she wouldn't be trying to stop us. Push through.
reliable by a Vex disruption signal. Follow the cable and we should find the source. These old human colonial outposts have been here for a long time. I wonder what they were researching before they captured this. This route will take us straight to the mine, creating the damping field. Almost there.
You never tire of learning the same lessons. Your response is not necessary. This is not a conversation. You're only meant to listen. How readily you obey fate. A leader without agency. A discarded puppet wrapped in her wires. And the weapon. Guardian, the Nine flatter you and themselves I command their passivity. They cannot raise their weapons.
I will drag the past to us if I must. That's her plan, isn't it? She knows the Nine can do things the Vex can't.
Precipitous moments. Her tone will change soon.
Yes, it will.
Of my cortex. Don't let them in. They'll burn through any non-emissary.
There it is, Guardian. That Vex mine has the capsule we need. I don't care what Maya says. We're on her doorstep and she feels it.
I've had enough of this wall in my brain. I'm looking forward to seeing it crumble.
Mine's defenses are linked to a series of shielded confluxes. I bet we can take it out with this. That's it, Guardian. Bring them down. be the final Strangelet capsule. We did it. The quarantine field is failing.
We just detected a shockwave from the singularity.
My connection is still tethered. Ikora, I'm letting 9 in. Talk to me to talk to them.
We have questions.
Commander, answers later. Bask. Perihelion around my maypole. But I do have a message for the weapon to be. Guardian, we knew salt water would evaporate. Missiles aiming at solar flares would collide. Humanity was destined to burn. 3 and I, well, we looked at the Valley of Unknown Space. We saw our nature would nurture the conditions for uppercase light. Your resurrection was enabled by our hand for this purpose. Your mind will reach the beyond and know the way. For this you were positioned, set into orbit. This and 3's message to come. Always loved warming your armor, Sunshine.
The well is dry. I have no more answers. I'm sorry.
Wait, so the 9 are saying they planned for me to raise the Guardian?
We are not pawns. We determine our choices, not them. Let's get to the Altar of Relativity and get answers from 3 ourselves.
My will is my own. It's as frightening as it is freeing. Don't misunderstand me. I didn't choose to be a light bearer. I did choose to be an emissary. And I chose to leave. I don't miss either life. I choose to bear truth. To share fragments I've stowed away from beyond the borders of known space. The knowledge I keep will save others. But first, there is a piece of myself that I left buried to grow in old soil. My ghost, Gaul. We planted violet petals from the Golden Age. My hands, their shell. After we leave here, that's where I'll go. One brief respite until fate calls us back to right the impossible.
Everyone, we have the last Strangelet capsule. Guardian, we need to take this to the Altar of Relativity and get that door open.
This is it. I'm finally gonna learn why I'm here. Big moment. For all of you too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Round of congrats to everyone. But we're not out of the doghouse yet.
Drifter's right. I'm sure the Archon will be on the move soon now that the quarantine is down. And when he does...
Everyone, we have the last Strangelet capsule. Guardian, we need to take this to the Altar of Relativity and get that door open.
Quiet. Yes, you have reached your goal and torn down my collective's quarantine. This is marginally impressive, but not beyond expectations.
Guardian, this is an emergency. The Ionian's energy reactor is on the verge of going supercritical. We need to shut it down, now.
Didn't y'all just fix this thing?
Since the Guardian shut the Vex quarantine down, they're figuring out a way to get to the 9 without it.
If this reactor melts down, it'll charcoal Kepler and wipe out anyone trying to hinder the Vex from controlling the singularity.
Then no one will be alive to stop them. Find what caused this.
Wild hunch, but I think the Guardian found the cause of the meltdown.
Focus on the reactor. Keep the Ionian safe. Then deal with the invulnerable Vex.
The
don't have much time, Guardian. Fight your way through and disable any power nodes you can find.
Every energy plant has to have a supply of coolant on hand to submerge the core in an emergency.
If you can find it, I'll route it back to the reactor, Hero. Go!
We need to get the Ionians evacuated. If this place goes nuclear, the temple, the caldera, everything is squarely within the blast radius.
Damn it. The Ionians are too dispersed to reach all of them before boiling conversion.
Guardian, buy us as much time as you can. We'll assess our options. Lodi, do the Ionians have any kind of shelter they can get to quickly? Bunkers, or even a cavern system?
No, their infrastructure wasn't built to handle any kind of fallout.
Damn it! This thing's hemorrhaging coolant like a severed head!
I'm beneath the reactor. Its reservoir is cracked, but I can contain the pressure. Ophiuchus will just have to continually res me.
Ikora!
Don't worry about me.
What if we could get help? 3 wanted us here alive. What if they could intervene?
Make the call. Guardian, buy Lodi time. I'm beneath the reactor. Approaching now.
Temps aren't stable yet, but we're making headway. Ikora, you holding together the coolant walls?
Going. Buy us anytime you can.
Something's wrong. 3 isn't talking. Just flashes. Brooklyn, but everything's on fire. Is this the collapse? Oily rain? Heads tipped back. People don't know it's irradiated.
Lodi! We're running out of time.
Talk to me, please. 3, we need help. It's just showing me things. An eruption in a tundra, a bear boiling in mud, in a forest of ash. 3, the reactor is melting down. We need you to help us. Stop showing me a meteor. Talk to me. Damn it! Why are you showing me this? Why won't you help?
Cut the connection. Lodi, Orin, find cover. We're on our own.
The unknowable god doesn't want to help. What a surprise. They're just gonna leave you dying on repeat. one node left, hero.
Lodi! Are you alright? Louis!
That was the collapse. And then a little earlier. And then way earlier. Three won't talk, won't help. They just want to show us disasters.
We've got something more reliable than a god. Guardian! My faith lies with you. If they won't save us, then we'll just have to save ourselves.
Oh, hell yeah, sister. Now you get it.
The Nine murdered a mortal so she could be useful in her next life. and abducted her friend to use him as a puppet. They'll casually rearrange the life of the Guardian, but won't lift a finger to help. My role may be set, but I will not play it passively. I will hold a reactor together with my bare hands. I will move time and space to hold them accountable. And I will enact my future on my own terms. If the Nine want Ikora erased so badly, then here I am!
There you are.
Your will is your own.
Hell yes! That's what I'm talking about!
You were underneath that thing, Ms. Ray?
Holding it together in there while the Guardian got it stable out here.
You always were a tough one. How many times did you die?
As many as it took to finish the job.
You got everything you need. Split that Hydra from the reactor. Then, let's finish the job.
power sources. Will the altar still hold?
It's not a permanent solution, but our efforts should have given the Ionians generators a serviceable amount of juice. The altar should remain stable, and we'll still be able to get through.
Bree's waiting for us on the other side of that door.
Ms. Ray, not to rush us, but the Vex are flocking to the Singularity. We should follow. I want answers.
As do I. You and I have come too far to not know the reason why we're here. And we're only beginning to understand what they changed for the Guardian.
Oh, wait, Guardian. Orin, hold up. I feel like the Ultra during rush hour. All of them are queuing up in here. The 9 need us.
The vote. Of course they want to do it now. I remember my own transfer. There wasn't much fanfare. So was miscreated. They seemed eager to move on.
Guardian, hurry. The 9 want to talk. Formally. And they're not too keen on waiting.
Yes. Pressed glass. Light shining. Standard procedure. Let them in. They're here.
Oh, good. I was worried they would start without...
Nice of you to answer. Quitter, your vessel is required.
You may borrow.
Your captured audience assembles.
Invitation to notarize transfer. Tonight the weapon answered.
Speak what 8 have spoken. Quiet your clods and gases.
We all have else things to be. But only one right now.
I
Behold the vessel.
hold the vessel. Old.
And new.
This quitter is an outcast, but still connected and useful.
This beautiful boy is the emissary to be. Paperwork permitting. And you, Guardian, you are the weapon we chose by right and trial.
The weapon guides the transfer on the edge of its paracausality to shroud this chained sequence, to fell Vex and parry prediction. Be ours.
Kneel! Kneel. And let your knobby quarks press the hadrons. Do all present here ratify this contract? Aye or nay?
Denial.
Predictable. My vote is aye. Obviously.
Emissary appointment, declination. Weaponized flesh tool, affirmation.
As you sustain us, you will sustain us. For acceptance.
Yea. Unsheath the weapon. But reactionary choices. Empty-seated. Nay to the emissary.
Stupid to ignore threat. Arm ourselves. We never move without intermediaries. Aye to all.
Complete, abject, insulted refusal.
Ridiculous! 6! We are at war! 1 casts our vote in the affirmative!
This council sees the weapon loosed, but stands unmoved to ratify an emissary. 8 votes cast. 1 remains. It is required. Weapon, you are charged with seeking the final vote. 3. Our vacant gives you what you need.
Never again.
I'm gonna throw up.
Seek 3 at the altar. All paths converge, Guardian Weapon.
Guardian, all the 9 seem to know what the weapon is for, but I don't have a clue.
All I felt when they were talking about whatever you were for was terror.
Guardian, you have 1 new call.
I know folks speculate about my haul behind my back. But what they don't realize is, I don't know a damn thing about it either. Honor called it an engine of pure potential. But potential for what? I never knew, or cared. Long as I fed it dark motes, it kept spitting out primevals, and that was good enough for me. But since we arrived here, that old hall's been acting real squirrely, like it's trying to give me the slip. I never thought of the motes we put in there as sentient. Of course, all the baddies you dusted probably felt some kind of way about it. But the motes themselves, I reckoned they were just leftover scraps from your target practice. But the way the hall's yapping at me, I think maybe they wanted to be dunked. And now, they want out.
Lodi, before we get further, the woman you knew, what was her name?
Are you sure you need to know that, Ikora?
I want to know who I'm fighting for.
You're fighting for the most fearless person I know. And when we get to that god, you're going to ask him why they killed Dr. Nella Davis.
The transfer was successful. My senses are beginning to settle. I feel smaller.
Couldn't help but count while you all were calling the 9, but, where was 3?
Absent. And I remember I know why. I'm supposed to tell you something.
You have your chisel, Orin. Use it, and find us clarity. The Vex and the Singularity. Maya's goal has always been to return to the Golden Age. But a black hole won't get her there.
But maybe a member of the Nine could. She came to make a deal with 3. Trade the current age for the Golden Age?
A trade like that wouldn't be possible. The Nine can bring anything forward in time, but nothing ever goes backward. 3 would have told her as much.
Maya's echo means no isn't an answer.
This sounds like it isn't about simple refusal, though. It's a matter of physical impossibility.
When Maya spoke to us in the Gorge, she said she did what she came here to do. But we're not back in the Golden Age. What did she try to do?
The echo can compel, but it cannot force the impossible. We can't worry about this now, Guardian. We need the Archon out of the way. Then we'll deal with Maya.
not be approached. Exiles, prevent the deathless advance.
Is anyone else freezing? Muscles are locked? I feel awful. Something's wrong. Orin?
I felt that too. The day after I quit. Joints locking up, frozen head to toe. Something was very, very wrong. The Archon is hiding the truth from his people. Drifter, you need to bring your ship close. I'm remembering part of the message I was meant to deliver. Ready the derelict? Bring the haul.
What? Why?
Because I'm supposed to tell you now.